The London Stock Exchange is absolutely crazy right now, guys. The market is so overvalued. Oh my gosh. Like, there are stocks that I know ain't no good fetching for high prices. And if you guys are outside the UK but invest in other stock markets, you're gonna want to watch this video to end, because the UK is the 5th largest economy in the whole world. So chances are this is gonna affect your market as well. I'm going to talk about how Brexit and one other factor close to it are going to affect the stock markets. And I've also got a little investment tip to give you guys towards the end of this video, so make sure you watch through to the end. And it's basically how to invest during these difficult times. So make sure you guys don't miss out on anything.
You know what you're watching. DS Learning Finance. Whoa.
Brexit has been all across the world, quite rightfully so, and prevalent in UK news. What's even bigger is the complexity of implications that Brexit can have, like the increased tariffs put on exports and importing, potentially severing relationships between neighbouring countries due to hard borders being established. There's so many to list and very little time, so I've actually left a link in the short description box below this video that gives you more information on Brexit, so make sure you check it out if you guys don't know already. But yeah, there's just so many different routes that Brexit can take us, and it's all dependent on what type of deal's been done. If it's a soft deal, if it's a hard deal, if it's a good deal, if it's a bad deal, like what's the best deal or no deal? You can see it's a bit confusing. But one thing that is certain is that there is a lot of worry and concern surrounding Brexit. Word. And the ironic thing is that I don't even think Brexit's the direct factor that is making the stock market behave in this way. Obviously it's indirectly causing it, but I don't think it's the main thing. It's this one other thing that I'm going to mention in this video. But to frankly understand Brexit in its entirety is damn near impossible. It's like trying to solve a Rubik's Cube in the dark. It just ain't gonna happen, guys. There's simply too many ifs, buts, when this happens, depending on, to give a straightforward answer, let alone an accurate one. The only thing we can actually do is speak on things that we know. One thing that we do know is that we're going to be one of the first to successfully exit the European Union. And so effectively other countries are looking at us, seeing whether we're going to sink or whether we're going to stay afloat. And from that, I reckon that other countries are actually going to make a decision based on us. So the UK is pretty much a guinea pig right now. I'm not really too comfortable saying that, but what can I say, eh? I'm in the UK. The decision's already been made. One thing that I can confirm is that there is so much uncertainty surrounding Brexit and what it means and the different ramifications it leads to. There's so much like dark area surrounding it that I think this is what is causing the markets to behave the way they are, especially the London Stock Exchange right now. And from my personal experience, whenever you have the human psychology, whenever you have humans face something with uncertainty, it's a natural instinct to overvalue something as effectively a defense mechanism to cover your back. For example, if you're measuring something and you're not too sure what exact size it is, you'll probably round up to the nearest centimeter or round up to the nearest meter just to cover your back. And I feel this is the cause behind the high prices, because people just want to sell their stocks at a profit. Before this market crash happens, before this dip happens, people want to sell their stocks and quickly make their money and duck out, basically. So I think that's basically what's going on in the stock market right now, especially the London Stock Exchange, which explains the stupidly high prices. So this then sparks the question, what is the worst thing that's going to happen in the stock market with Brexit? What is it? Simply put, it's a global market crash stemming from Brexit. That's the worst thing that could effectively happen. I always tell myself this thing that I'm about to tell you guys, and it's that the one thing that can move a share price more than a company's performance is the public / the investors' perception of that company's performance. So if a company does really well or does really badly, that is obviously going to affect the share price, but it's how the public portray that performance, if it's a good performance, if it's a bad performance, if it's a performance that could potentially be good, and vice versa. There's so many different ways to look at it, depending on how we investors portray that company as, and that affects the share price the most, because we are the market, we influence it. If we feel that a stock is undervalued, then we'll buy more shares and eventually the price will go up. That's just how it works, supply demand. We are the market, so we dictate the prices indirectly when you think about it. And this is clearly what's happening now, because companies aren't even releasing their annual reports yet and we're seeing stupidly high prices. It's because us investors were worried about Brexit, and ultimately you can tell that it's causing such an effect because Brexit hasn't even happened yet, guys, and the market is behaving like this. So there's a lot to think about, but I would say remember that the market always likes to correct itself according to its true value. What goes up must come down if it is not a true reflection of where that stock is valued at. And this is why a market crash happens, because it's like a reset button to bring stocks that are getting way too high coming crashing back down to reality, to their true values. That's why a market crash is good. But if this is all happening, is this really so bad? I personally don't think so. Instead, I actually think we're in a good situation right now with Brexit. Yeah, well, because like I'm a long-term investor, guys. So I'm constantly looking for opportunities, for chances to buy stocks for cheap, because I don't care about what happens in the short term, because I'm looking into the long term. This essentially means that I'm purposefully looking for times where a market is undervalued, seriously undervalued. So stocks are going for dirt cheap, stocks are significantly lower prices than what they should be, nowhere near it. And these are all the telling signs of a market crash. So what this means is that I'm actually looking for a market crash or a dip to happen, because that's when I'm looking to buy. I'm gonna buy you, I'm gonna buy you, I'm gonna buy you and your friend too. I'm gonna buy everything, well, everything that I deem a good investment. And yeah, that's when I'm gonna strike the most. That's when I'm gonna be buying more stocks. And this is the interesting part that I mentioned earlier on in this video, in the intro section, where I said I was going to give you guys an investment tip. And it's basically that, what other time can you name in the stock market where you know a market crash or at least a dip is going to happen before it happens? You can see it so clearly. When have you ever experienced that? The answer is probably never. But that's basically what's going to happen. We can all say that the market will at least significantly dip, because that's just what Brexit is. That's what Brexit means. It means there's going to be more tariffs, so companies are going to have to pay more to export and import. It's just simply going to reduce their financials, their profits, their revenues, everything. It's not going to help. So it's clearly going to happen. And it's never been ever so clear that something, such a dip would happen, and also you'll be able to time it as well. We know it's going to happen after Brexit, or at least when Brexit is happening. So that adds a lot of value into what you're going to do for the time being. One thing I've always wished in the stock market is that I could literally see into the future. This is basically what we're doing right now. We're seeing into the future, and it's almost guaranteed, guys. You know what's going to happen, and you know when it's going to happen. What better way to utilize this opportunity? So as a long-term investor, I'm going to be gathering my money right now, not investing right now because obviously prices are stupidly high, for when that dip or that market crash does happen, because that's when I'm going to be active, guys. I'm going to be fully invested like mad. I'm going to be on a mad one. I'm looking forward to it. So because that's the best opportunity for me to buy, because it's going to be cheap. So that's what I intend to do. The question is, what do you guys intend to do during Brexit and after it? It's your favorite YouTuber, guys, Dami Solario. I talk about stock market investments, property investments, financial management too, giving you guys that consistent content, you know, before you guys can go about doing whatever you want to do for the rest of the day. Say it with me: like, subscribe, and share, people. What? DS Learning Finance. Whoa. Bye, guys.
Whoa.